All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome. So this is the first video of the year, and I just give you a premise of what you guys should expect. First and foremost, before you begin watching this, make sure you have your book and your notebook out, as well as your bell work worksheet. Okay, those three things need to be out. All right, so what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, is the following. We're talking about variables and expressions, lesson 1-1, and of course, I'm Mr. Stiger. So what you guys need to do, and what my expectations for you guys are, is to take notes. These notes can be used on the quiz that we will have usually for every chapter, okay? And then we will also, you can use them as a study guide for yourself to make sure that you do well on the closed note tests, right? And we'll talk about it later, and it's also a way for you guys to have more of an example of what to do than just what's in the book. So this lesson takes place on starts on page 5 in your book. All right, we're gonna have a 5-minute check, which is your bell work. Talk about mathematical practices. We go from there. So in class today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a 5-minute check. If you missed this, please make sure you write. You don't have to write the questions down per se, but I do want you to put the numbers 1, 2, and 4, not 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 4. I know that's weird, but it helps me to make sure I check your work. Write down what you think the answers are, and you go from there. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is for you, not for me. Go. All right, so when I walk out of the videos like that, ladies and gentlemen, the pause is like, for me, is like 2 seconds. So that's when I want you guys to pause the video and make sure you get the right answer. So add them up. These are the answers: 20.54, 7 8/9, and 1/4 is the answer down there for the product. Okay, today we have a couple mathematical standards we're going to be covering. The first one would be, this is standard 4, modeling. And this is the standards, if you guys ever want to know what standards we're actually covering. Okay, these standards are written for the AZ Merit, and to make sure that us as teachers, we cover a whole bunch of different options. All right, you perform operations on integers your entire life, ladies and gentlemen. That is 2 plus 2. What is that? Operations, 2 adding 2 together. And what do you get? 4. Now we're going to write verbal expressions of these algebra. Okay, so you're going to go back and forth. You're going to see an algebra equation, and you're going to write it out verbally. If you look on page 5, you guys will see under 1 a bunch of highlighted vocabulary. This may or may not be new to you. If it is new to you, please make sure you know what these words are, okay? It's not something I'm going to require you to write down, but I do expect you guys to know what product is, power, exponent, base, and the mathematical lingo behind it, because the worst thing for you to do is to not understand what I am saying. Okay, if you don't understand what I'm saying, then we need to have a conversation about making sure that you guys understand the new terminology that we're coming up. Okay, so what we have here is the first examples. What I want you guys to do is, my plan in class is to have pre-printed notes. Okay, if you've got these notes pre-printed out, good. If you do not, then ladies and gentlemen, write this down in your notebook exactly like that. All right. So write a verbal expression for 8x squared, and write a verbal expression for 5 to the 5th power minus 16y. One thing I want to make sure you guys understand is the given mathematical operations to you. What I mean by that is, it's not you're at a point, academically speaking, where we're not going to tell you or show you every mathematical procedure, because what is actually in here? Is this 8x squared? It's actually what? 8 times. So for this one here, write a verbal expression, all right? It would be 8 times x squared. All right, same down here, ladies and gentlemen. Y to the power of 5th minus 16 times y. Make sure you don't forget that part. So when I fast forward, 8 times x squared, and then they have here the difference. So there's 2 ways to write this. You could put y to the 5th power minus 16 times y, or you can say the difference of y to the 5th to the 5th power and 16 times y. Okay? There are 2 different ways to write it. Make sure you guys know how to do both, and we'll go from there. All right, so now I want to make sure it's on your turn. On the bottom of page 5, you'll see some guided practice. In class, ladies and gentlemen, this is the say say and see, which is I'm up here telling you, you're seeing it. Now this is the part where you do it. I'm going to step out of the video. You guys try to please solve these two answers. Write down the expressions. I know they're more difficult, but you should be able to do it. All right, now for these, ladies and gentlemen, make sure we get these right. All right, so what I want to make sure you understand is this is what? 16. So you'd write out 16. Sorry, my handwriting is not good sometimes. And it would be times u squared. And then it would be minus 3. Now, what else could we do? We could put the difference of, just like in that previous example, the difference of 16 times u squared and 3. We could do that. All right, but this is another way to write it. There's two different ways. This one right here would be 1/2 times a, okay, plus two different ways to write this. Okay, it would be 6 times b divided by 7. That's kind of, if I get that out to you, might be, or it would be the quotient of 6 times b and 7. So let me write that one down because I know that one's kind of probably hard to understand. The quotient, let's see if I spell it right, of 6 times b and 7. How about that? All right, that is a lot of words to help you understand. But what it is I want you guys to be able to look at this and be able to write this, and then look at this and be able to write that. It's very important because everybody in life, we don't see this in real life. What do you see? You see words, you see scenarios where it's played out like this, and you have to put it into a viable equation, all right, going forward the rest of this year. All right, example, if you guys flip your page in your book now to page 6, at the top you'll see writing algebraic expressions, and these are a lot of key terms that you guys need to know. Concepts: addition would be more than, sum, plus, increased by; subtraction, less than, difference. Okay, we've hit that a couple times. Minus, all right, simple one that you guys have known. Multiplication would be product of times multiplied by. Division is quotient or divided. Okay, quotient of divided by. All right, you'll see that in vocabulary and word problems as we go now and the rest of your high school career. Okay. All right, so write an algebraic expression for 5 less than a number c. So what you guys need to do is understand and not overthink this, but divide it up. Okay, what I mean by divide it up is this. Okay, write an algebraic expression. Thank you for that. Get rid of it. Think about what you need to do. Okay, the only things you need to have are 5 less than a number c. So you have a number c, and it's less 5. C minus 5. All right, so that is your answer. C minus 5. Okay, 5 less than a number c. So your number would be c, but it's going to be 5 less than that. All right, that's like if I were to tell you, I'm going to give you a dozen donuts. All right, you go get a baker's dozen. If you get a baker's dozen, which is actually 13, but you get a baker's dozen less 5. So that means how many bagels did you actually get? You actually got 8. 13 minus 5 is 8. Yep, okay. All right, write an algebraic expression for 9 plus the product of 2 and d. So you break this one out again. All right, you have 9 plus the product, okay, of 2 and d. So it's just like it is, 9 plus the product. So you're doing what? You're multiplying these two together. That's it, okay? Simple stuff, you guys. Hopefully you guys, and if you struggle with this, please let me know, because sometimes I know it's hard going back and forth between the vernacular. All right? Letter B, right? Oh, I wrote it out already. Okay? Plus implies add, product multiplies that. You go from there. Now it's your turn. All right? At the bottom of page, or in the middle of page 6, you'll see these examples. Ladies and gentlemen, please go through them now. All right, so the product of P and 6. So what is product? That is what? Multiplication. If you struggle with that, go to the top of page 6 and see your verbal algebraic expressions and write it. So this would be just what? I like to say 6P. You could go P6, it doesn't matter, but P6 is kind of weird, so I just put 6P. 1/3 of the area A. 1/3 of the area what? A. Okay, or you can write it A over 3. That's the same thing. All right, 1/3 the area of A, or A over 3. Hopefully you guys got that. If you didn't, let me know. All right, write an expression. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, your homework will be mainly word problems because I want to make sure you guys can interpret sentences and take them down. So, Mr. Niru bought 2 adult tickets and 3 student tickets for the planetarium. Write an algebraic expression that represents the cost of the tickets. So what do? He bought 2 adult and 3 students. Now what you want to do is it doesn't give you a letter to use, so usually sometimes I'll just use the first letter in the sentence so you understand, kind of, you can tie it together. So it would be 2A, and then he also bought what? He bought more, so he just added to it 3S. 2A plus 3S. That's it. Okay, I didn't want to know the price. If I did want to say he bought that and the total cost of the tickets was $25, could you figure that out? Yes, you could. That's something later on down the line that we'll cover, but just understand this is what we're looking for right now. We're not looking for the back end. See, what you're doing is you're building the front end so you guys understand how to finish the rest of it off. All right? If you guys have any questions in class about that, please make sure you come see me. Your turn, and this is the last one. All right? On page 6, fill this one out, and I'll be back in a second. All right, Katie bakes 40 pastries, and she makes coffee for 200 people. So I would go with 40p and write an algebraic expression to represent the cost of this situation. So she had this, and then you're going to add into the cost of making coffee 200, I'll just say C. Okay, and then what would happen is if her total cost was $1,000, could you answer this and figure this problem out? Yes, you could. Okay, so I want to make sure you guys understand that concept. Okay, so there we go. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please come see me. Okay, make sure you do your homework diligently. I'm not going to include it on this video because I'm not sure yet at this point what the homework is going to be, but I know we'll have something. Okay, practice it up. Come see me. The next day in class, we'll always have a review of what we covered, and I'll ask if you have any questions on the homework. Come prepared. All right, I'm here to help you out. I always will be. All right, until next time, you guys have a great day.